started, just this week there was the news of an image of a black hole, and it bears a striking resemblance to the black hole that's in the film. Can you talk a little bit about that, about working with, I think it was astrophysicist Arlan Barreau? What do you think of the fact that you were so close to the truth?
I think I'm a believer, you know. That's all I can say. When I saw that yellow light invented by Olafur Eliasson, I said, I don't need more. This is enough for me. This is it. And we did it. And we did it on digital, not on film, to capture the power of that light that, in a way, transform everything, the color of the skin, of the air. And I thought, this is it. And I was not thinking twice, you know. Yeah. And we made it in a simple way.
I know, Rob, at this point in your career, you're working with such an incredible run of directors. It's just really exciting to see the people that you're deciding to work with. What was it that drew you to working with Claire?
Boots.
I mean, it's not a particular. It's not that complicated. I mean, I literally just saw White Material on TV and couldn't stop watching it. It was on cable in Louisiana. I was shooting something else, and I just got really, really lost in it, and kind of thought, wow, this is someone who knows what they're doing. And I didn't know any of her previous work before I'd seen it. I think I'd bought Beau Travail before that, but I'd never actually seen it, and then I'd never put the two together when I ended up watching all of the movies. It's just something. Initially I just loved the performances she has, but then I realized it was a lot more than that.
I know, Claire, the part in High Life was written to be for someone older than Rob.
Sure.
What was it that...
I'm sorry, I interrupt you.
No.
I mean, it was naively, I thought this Monte guy was, he had such a bad childhood, such a bad time in life, that he was like having absolutely no hope, and he wanted to protect himself from the other. And when I met Robert, I thought, wow, no, I was wrong. This is exactly the opposite. It has to be someone young that is protecting himself because he has never got a chance to be confronted with real life, you know, with love, with something as alive as this little baby, in a way. I mean, not that the little baby is charming, yes, it's a charming baby, but because the baby has a strength of, I am alive. You know, in a baby you see so much of life, much more than in a grown-up person, you know.
And Robert, was it difficult at all the fact that there's not necessarily a lot of dialogue in the movie? You have a lot of moments that's just you by yourself or with the baby. Was that intimidating? Was it difficult to kind of have so much screen time without dialogue?
I think yes, up until the moment of the first day of the shoot, and then it was great and really liberating to have very little dialogue for a few weeks, and then after a few weeks, it suddenly hit me again, and I'm like, oh my god, I've only got a few facial expressions. Start thinking of new ones. I need to practice in the mirror.
It's true, that thing about dialogue, because dialogue is either there can be a sort of music of the film, you know, or if they're not necessary, if in between, if they are just explaining what you're supposed to understand, I think it's really boring, and it's terrible to ask actors and actresses to learn those, you know. It's great when it's a sort of music, and it's also great when an actor or an actress is within himself, in this silence. And I don't see why in a ship in this vessel with this baby, you would have had so many dialogues, you know? And I don't even know with the other in the flashback, in the crew. I mean, those people have been together they come out from death row and they were together in this trip for 4 years. What do they have to say? What the weather this morning, or what do you feel today? No, I mean, fuck you. It's not possible.
And can you talk a little bit about where the idea for this space prison?
I say fuck you, huh? You understand? He's not allowed to say fuck you.
I write for a family newspaper.
Me, I could. I'm French.
Talk about where the idea for the movie came from, to have this kind of space prison. And I know you've talked about how you weren't necessarily interested in making a science fiction movie. So what was it about the story that sort of drew your interest?
You know, a film idea is complex. It's a complex conjunction of many ideas, and one of them was a man alone in space, far away from the solar system, knowing he would not come back, whatever, because the time of life is not long enough for come back. But then I thought maybe all the others are dead, and then maybe there is a baby, because I had been reading Stephen Hawking's book, in which he was writing, if we could one day travel far away, reproduction is necessary in space. Otherwise, a human life is not long enough. And I was thrilled by that, you know, especially if this Monty is suddenly responsible for that little baby, not only so lonely, you know. So I think, oh, my English is terrible tonight. I thought of the prison a little bit later, when I thought those people, after all, were not volunteer. They were like lab rats, you know, and they choose that because it's, after all, better than this road. That's all.
Because, Robert, for you, when you first read the script, what was it that sort of hooked you? Like, was it the fact that it was this sort of science fiction story? Was there something in maybe like the father-daughter story that interested you? Like, was there something in particular that sort of hooked you when you first read it?
Yeah, I mean, I always kind of like...
Say the truth, you understood nothing.
Yeah, I definitely...
Self-evident.
We've kind of been doing the interviews. I've literally, people are still asking me what is the movie about, and I'm after the 500th time
Me neither, by the way.
it gets less clear. The more, no, I think I always like looking for something when it's a little, there's something audacious about it. There's something, you know, if there's little elements, you know, it's a sci-fi movie, but it's incredibly kind of earthy and organic, and there's, you know, you hardly ever see, you know, there's just not a lot of semen in sci-fi. And that's kind of, that was one of the things that sort of gave it an edge. But especially with Monte as well, I think, I don't know, I like finding a character who's, to all intents and purposes, kind of, you know, in the box of being kind of a bad person, I guess, and trying to get an audience complicit with a journey which they could end up going down the wrong moral road. So it's very interesting.
And then, Claire, in casting the film, not just with Robert, but it's a really exciting international cast. Juliette Binoche, Mia Goth, Andre Benjamin, of course. What was it that made you want to have this kind of very unusual mix of international people?
To begin with, it had to be a film speaking in English, so no way to have non-speaking English actors. And as always, I think it's better to have people I would like to be with, So it was the case with the choice I made. It's not unusual for me. I do like that in all my films, I think I like to feel in love with the actor. I mean, there is no other way to be close to the story, I think you lost a card. No?
But now, Robert, as I understand it, you cast the baby?
Yeah.
Kind of very on the morning of the first day. We had no baby. We had a baby, but
We had two babies.
we had two babies, but they were very weak. They were weak. They were rejected. Yeah, she's my one of my best friend's children, my goddaughter. But I'd only met her for like an hour, like about a year before. But I just remember the babies we had the night before were just, it would have been impossible unless it would have been a different movie. There was
such a great choice. So great.
We literally did it. We didn't even tell the producers.
No.
We just turned
we
up.
did it on our own.
Yeah.
The bar at the hotel.
Yes. The producers weren't answering the phone, and we just flew out, my friend.
Yeah.
But tell me about that. What was the experience like of, I think especially being able to just work with one, kind of actor in that way? Do you think it helped the performance and the way that those scenes are?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think how I initially saw the part was so much harder. I mean, you can kind of see it a little bit in the flashback scenes. I mean, Monty, it was unusual to me, like how like the kind of casual violence. I mean, it's kind of, and also he acts like he's a prison guard, but you're not. It's kind of a little bit Stanford Prison Experiment kind of thing when these guys are just everyone's so brutal towards each other. And I kind of had an idea that you could really emphasize the danger it poses this child, by somehow doing in the performance that the audience would be frightened of what's going to happen to this baby. But I mean, I thought it was more interesting as soon as we did the first scene with the baby, it was kind of that he just can't help himself but be affected by it. I thought it's much more interesting than doing it like, I'm gonna eat it.
Claire, how did you find sort of directing Robert and the baby in those scenes? What was it like working with the two of them sort of as actors?
It was the best. I was so happy that Robert called his friend and this little girl came with us. I mean, it was such a proof of trust. I don't know. It was the most delicious way to start a movie. Nothing else to say, and with so little word, just being with someone, Yeah. Not only for me, for the DP, for the crew, it was the best way to start the film. And it's strange because also when I start writing the script, I always wanted to start like that with the baby and Monty, like their daily life, if I could say, so in space.
And then, Robert, what was it like for you getting to work with some of those other actors? In particular, I love some of the moments you have with Andre Benjamin. Like, what were those scenes like?
Andre's the best. I mean, when I I didn't really believe Andre was going to be in it until he turned up. I mean, literally, I thought it might have been, I kind of thought it was, you were joking. And I thought it was a different Andre Benjamin. But I mean,
No,
I don't, you know, I'm the biggest Andre Benjamin fan, and yeah, I mean, he's great. He's such. I mean, I knew he was a really good actor. I loved his Jimi Hendrix movie, which I was like kind of criminally overlooked. I mean, I don't know how people didn't notice, but he literally did the best Jimi Hendrix. It's like uncanny.
incredible
Yeah.
to do that, you know?
Yeah. He's great, and I love Juliet. I mean, like everyone knows it. It's a really, really fun cast.
And we have just a couple minutes for some questions from the audience. If anyone has any questions? Yep, right here.
Could you explain how you wrote this script? In a quote normal script, you have a lot of continuity scenes where you're going, you know, explaining how it gets here and what happens to that person. And you're sort of more episodic. You just hit us with these scenes. And also, could you explain Jim's suicide? I don't understand.
And it's two questions. One, if you can talk a little bit about the writing of the film,
Yeah,
and then secondly, the suicide.
The writing of the film was almost easy. I thought if we start in a chronological order with the crew at the beginning, all of them together, then the vision, what I wanted is this Monty guy alone with the baby. So I already decided the crew was going to be in a flashback, but after we have seen the scene where he throw them bodies out, so we knew they had existed, you know. He was not lonely at the beginning. But I never thought, and also, in a way, it was so tempting to play with time because of this, what's happening when you are in space at that speed, you know. Time is different than on Earth. I mean, all those change, I think it was interesting also to have that guy saying they will never return, but if they would return, we were born dust, you know. So I mean, this was interesting for the film for me. And Dr. Deeb's death, she did her mission. She's a sort of Medea, you know, of the modern days. She did something that the worst thing a woman can do is kill her children. So she's like obsessed by success in her mission. Half crazy she is, you know. She wants that success and then that's enough. She can die, you know. It's not suicidal. She's dead already in a way, you know.
And we have time for one more. Right here.
Robert, did you have to do, there wasn't a lot of like technological stuff in space, but did you do any kind of research about what it might feel like to be in space? Because obviously you couldn't go there, but how did you
And the question has to do with whether you did any specific research on being in space.
Well, we went to the international, the European Space Centre for like, spent a day there, and I talked to Aurelian Burroughs, astrophysicist we had. But I mean, and when I first started thinking about it, I was trying to kind of, I thought it was important to me, but to kind of, I mean, I remember reading, God, I forgot what the book's called now. I bought the big book on singularity. And, no, I bought the guy, the book which Penrose, Penrose wrote.
Penrose,
I
yes.
actually thought it would be a kind of casual read, and it's like 10,000 pages. I literally can barely add.
No,
let
it's
alone,
important.
you know, yeah, I mean, there's like, I liked walking around with it. It's impressive, right? But yeah, I don't know, there was more, I liked what we watched, there's the live feed to the International Space Centre, and I didn't really know when we were doing the kind of academic stuff there, I didn't really know what I was supposed to be thinking, but when we were watching the live feed and there was this, it looked like that someone was doing something incredibly complicated, just fixing the toilet. And like, he's been fixing the toilet for like 3 days. And all these people are like, the height of like 3 professions. And that the biggest problem on the International Space Center is that the toilet always breaks. And there's just something about, and you just saw like the top of his butt crack on the live stream. It's like, this is incredible. Not that that really affected the performance of that, but it kind of just made me feel okay about not knowing how to do an equation.
Yeah, it was surreal, you know, the way everything was so important, where to put the toothbrush, where to sleep, you know, the way that we were told they train all day, they clean all day, and if they can work as they're all scientists, it's maybe 1 hour or 2 hours per day, no more, you know.
They just spend all day working on it. Also, the other thing is that astronauts are incredibly heroic. When every single time you meet them, like, they walk into a room and you're just like, I mean, the way they hold themselves, and like,
Yeah.
it can't be. It's not what this movie is. Like, they're like, they're superheroes, and they
Yeah.
and they feel they know they are as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's kind of So I can't really get too much from it.
Oh, you
Thomas
did.
Pesquet, like.
Yeah, Thomas Pesquet, yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, yeah, he's a little bit too much.
he's like great. It's literally like he's like the sexiest dude on the planet.
And with that, we've got to wrap it up. If everyone could just stay in their seats for a moment while we...
This gentleman wanted to ask a question right from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, were there any scenes that were filmed that did not make it into the final cut? What scenes were they? Why were they cut?
Do you have any scenes that you really missed that you shot that you had to cut out?
No, I don't remember. No.
I like the other scene with Andre.
Oh, yeah. No.
The one me and Andre sitting in a flower bed talking about masturbating. I really The one we're talking about all the different types of girls.
Ah, no,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one,
yeah.
no. No, it's true.
And with that, our guests leave. They've got to get to another Q&A. Thank you very much.